When you do that, your career, your family, all that other stuff, it can have drama and not have drama. The sale can happen or not happen. Ups and downs will happen, but you live. The thing that pours life into you is something bigger than that.
Just put it out here. I'm a lawyer and also a real estate negotiator at a young age, beyond my peers. The issue that I want to put out here is hustle culture. I mean, like, how does hustle culture for the current generation upholds towards what Islam says, like barakah and all that? Because to my peers, and frankly myself, we didn't really care about barakah. We just worked on getting the sale no matter what cost, even cutting corners, emphasis on getting the cash, that's it. But then given that awareness, not saying I'm perfect, but given that, I've learned something over the years and learned that some things are better, I just want to think, how do we address such a prevalent issue these days in which youngsters do not care so much about the barakah and the rahmah of the means, and also about the afflictions. Like, let's say we don't get a sale, we feel like, oh, it's a test, we don't get it. We worked hard for it, months and months and months and on, and then we don't get our sale, we don't get our results immediately. It's like, not saying gratification, but then we feel like as if we've been screwed for not getting our ends meet. Yeah. So it's like addressing the matter of hustle culture and also barakah, and also about acceptance of tests, because in Malay terms, it's like tak ada rezeki. It means that the rezeki for us in that matter is not meant for us. So, just want to know your
my thoughts on that?
Yeah, your thoughts on that, Seth.
Sure. Okay, so I think you answered a lot of it in your question, but okay. But that's the lawyer in you. Wonderful thoughts. I think, first of all, I think Muslims need to have a sense of hard work, grit, accomplishment, creativity. I also think some things that I really appreciate about my American upbringing is that whenever you're struggling for something and you fail, then you just know that you need to find another avenue, try something else, and then let that fail, and then try another thing and let that fail. Like, failure is just the road to success is failure, right? So you don't see failure as a disaster. You see failure as, now I know that's not worth trying. And you go to instead of sitting there like, oh my God, I put so many months into this and it didn't happen. That's not the culture. The culture is keep moving forward, keep trying new things, don't be afraid of failure, and you'll keep, finding success. The problem with sometimes that other cultures that don't succeed as much is the moment you run into failure, you run into depression, right? I can't believe this didn't work out, and now what am I going to do? No, you should always have like, what am I going to do next? Okay, well that failed. Now another thing, now another thing, now another thing, right? So that level of hustle culture, I think Muslims should have. We should have grit, we should have resilience, we should be creative. Now, as far as the barakah piece of this is concerned, I think one of the things that university graduates should be coming out with, part of the mentality you all should be coming out with is your life is very short. Your youth is short-lived, and the time you have to do something with your life is very short. And within that, the world is selling you even shorter, cheaper goals: house, car, a beautiful partner, and children, or whatever. There's some models have been sold to you, and this is what you're running after, right? Money will come, marriage will happen, career will work out, but your mentality, if you're running after these things, you're going to live a miserable life. You're going to live miserably because, if I get married, I'll be happy. Those people have the worst marriages. They're so miserable in their, I'm telling you. Or once I have this job, I'll be happy. They're so miserable, so depressed in their job. If I just get that house, I'll be happy. They're like, I wish I never got this house. I hate making these payments. I hate fixing the bathroom. I hate my neighbors. There's all this. So the world sells you these milestones that bring happiness, and you'll notice the people who have them aren't happy. The only people that look happy are the people in the commercials that sell it to you, and they're paid to lie, right? So then we're running after things that are not even in the akhirah sense, even in the dunya sense, they don't bring fulfillment. They don't bring fulfillment. So where is real fulfillment going to come from? Once you graduate from the university, you have to leave here with a sense of higher purpose. I'm going to make a positive impact. I need to do something that brings about a positive change. You see a problem in this country, in your village, in your family, somewhere, you see a problem, and because of my contribution, I'm going to make sure that Allah helps me make a change to this problem. He helps me fix this one issue. I can't change the world. I can change the world of this one square block. I can change that. I will bring this. You're concerned with making some kind of a meaningful impact. When you do that, your career, your family, all that other stuff, it can have drama and not have drama. The sale can happen or not happen. Ups and downs will happen. But you live. The thing that pours life into you is something bigger than that, right? The analogy that I'd like to give you is we're all on a journey, right? And if you go on a road trip, don't you have to stop sometimes for chips and gas and whatever, right? To just have a snack and keep going, right? Now, Allah has given us a journey in this life, and the destination is your ultimate goal. So you have a higher goal. But on the way, when you stop, what happens to us is when we stop for snacks and gas, we get so distracted that this becomes like, oh my God, they didn't even have gas. They didn't even have the chips I wanted. Now what do I do? Shut up and keep going. There's another gas station 10 miles down the road. You have this every obstacle is a crisis mentality. Every obstacle is not you know what the crisis is? The crisis is you forgot that you're on a much bigger road. That's the real crisis, right? So all of you you really have to program yourself with a higher sense of purpose. Engineering students here should be thinking about how they're going to use the skill set that they've been given to improve, infrastructure in villages, or better improve the environment in one area or the other, or improve the marketplace or whatever. Help in some way, And I gave this idea at a university in Pakistan. I'm going to give you guys this idea here too. I was traveling through, and this is true in many Muslim countries, including here. Alhamdulillah, the roadways here are pretty amazing. But most of the country is still underdeveloped. We know that, right? And most of the Muslim world is still also very much underdeveloped. So we have nice downtowns, but then when you get into the cities themselves and then leave the cities, they're really, really behind, right? Now, you have university students that are engineering, infrastructure, development, marketing, accounting, business administration. You've got people that are in the field of Islamic studies. You've got all these students in medicine. You've got all these students from different disciplines, right? If you just took one square, dirty old marketplace in a village, and you said the engineering students are going to help modernize this one block, they're going to look like, by the time we're done, this is going to look like this is in Australia, not in Malaysia, or not in Pakistan. And the marketing students are going to brand the hell out of this place, or the heaven. And the video production students are going to make a film of the development, the story of the transformation of this neighborhood. And the interior designers are going to completely remodel the homes of these low-income families using recycled materials. And these students that have these skills, they converged on one small piece of society, and they created a success story, right? And then the marketing people filmed it, broadcast it, made a big deal out of it, spread it. What's going to happen? The next neighborhood 100 miles down is going to say, hey, they did that, we could do that. And then somebody else says, we could do that. And what are you doing? You're improving livelihood. You're increasing barakah and rizq. You're modernizing the society. You're bringing them up to speed. You're doing so, and that's just students doing this. There's no billion-dollar funding. There's no NGOs. There's no government initiatives. It's just students with a vision. It's just students with a vision that start to transform their country. They start to transform society. Allah says in the Quran, وَيُطْعِمُونَ الطَّعَامَ عَلَى حُبِّهِ. Listen to this, folks. If you remember nothing from this discussion, remember this one. Allah describes the people of Jannah. May Allah make all of us people of Jannah. He says they feed food based on their love of Allah. Ala hubbi. One of the meanings is based on their love of Allah. The other meaning of ala hubbi is even though they love the food themselves. You know what that means? They feed others even though they would rather eat themselves. Yeah? You're spending on others even though you'd rather spend on yourself. Now listen what feeding food means. Feeding food doesn't mean you buy a sandwich from McDonald's and give it to a poor person. That's the basic meaning. But you know what? If I taught a young man how to develop apps, right? I'm actually not giving him a sandwich, but I am feeding him food, aren't I? Actually, I'm not just feeding him food. I'm feeding his parents food. I'm feeding his younger brother food. I'm feeding his future wife food by teaching him how to do code development. You understand that? You guys need to be people of يُطْعِمُونَ الطَّعَامَ عَلَى حُبِّهِ مِسْكِينًا وَيَتِيمًا وَأَسِيرًا. Empowering society, empowering them, enabling them. And that's what your life should become about. Our countries have more resources, Muslim countries have more resources than you'll find in the West. All they have is the drive to put things together. That's all it is. We've become hyper-individualistic. They first thought of developing the infrastructure, now they're individualistic. We haven't developed ourselves and we're already individualistic. We've got to think about development. We've really got to think about development, and that is an Islamic message. That's يُطْعِمُونَ الطَّعَامَ, and that's what I want you guys to become. Like, this society should be transformed by your creative ideas and your genuine, like, you sacrifice your weekends to transform a village. You sacrifice your weekends to improve, case studies. And the thing with the world, Muslims, if there's one thing we're good at, we're very good at copying. So if you guys develop one success story, automatically 1,000 copies will happen, sadaqah jariyah for you, dunya and akhirah. So I'm hoping you guys take at least this virus from me and spread it, inshallah. I hope you guys enjoyed that video clip. My team and I have been working tirelessly to try to create as many resources for Muslims to give them first steps in understanding the Quran all the way to the point where they can have a deep, profound understanding of the Quran. We are students of the Quran ourselves, and we want you to be students of the Quran alongside us. Join us for this journey on BayyinahTV.com, where thousands of hours of work have already been put in. And don't be intimidated, it's step by step by step, so you can make learning the Quran a part of your lifestyle. There's lots of stuff available on YouTube, but it's all over the place. If you want an organized approach to studying the Quran beginning to end for yourself, your kids, your family, and even among peers, that would be the way to go. Sign up for BayyinahTV.com.